What's going on? Welcome to the 5-Minute Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Colton Olson, and on this podcast, we spend about 5 minutes, I say about 5, give or take a couple sometimes, breaking down and teaching you to apply psychological concepts that world-class athletes, CEOs, coaches, and elite military units use to take their performance to the next level. The key word here is apply. I don't want you to come here and just get a bunch of information and not know how to use it. I want you to leave here every day feeling like you have something in your hands that you can use right away to improve your life. Let's get to it. Today's episode is based on a book I read a little while back called It Takes What It Takes by a guy named Trevor Moawad. If you're interested in reading about mindset development, mental performance, anything like that, this book is really good. It's loaded with a ton of useful information. And the main premise is pretty much twofold. He talks a lot about controlling everything you can control in your life, as well as developing and maintaining a neutral or rational thinking patterns. But for this episode, I'm going to focus in on a small part of the book that starts with a quote from Nick Saban. If you don't know, Nick Saban is the head football coach at the University of Alabama. In this example, Saban's talking to the media, and here's what he says. They all have this illusion of choice, like I can do whatever I want to do. And you kind of have this younger generation now that doesn't always get told no. They don't always get told, hey, this is exactly how you need to do this. So they have this illusion that they have all these choices. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to be good, you don't really have a lot of choices because it takes what it takes. You have to do what you have to do to be successful. So you have to make choices and decisions to have the discipline and the focus on the process of what you need to accomplish your goals. All these guys thinking they have a lot of choice are really sadly mistaken. This quote is really powerful because it highlights an important truth about accomplishing pretty much anything great. The truth is, if you want to achieve anything exceptional, there are really only a few paths that will lead you where you want to go. If you want to be great, there are no choices. There are options, but not choices. So what do I mean by that? There are options, but not choices. I mean that you always have the option to just not take the path to greatness. You can decide not to embark on that difficult journey and pretty much stay in the same place you are now. That's your option. But if you do choose to embark on this journey to greatness and you want to make it, there are no more choices. So this means there's no choice in diet. You got to eat right. No choice in exercise. You got to work out like a champion all the time. No choice in how you do your work, your daily work. It needs to be done with intent and you need to execute. And there's no choice in relationships. You got to surround yourself with people who will lift you up. Like Saban said, it takes what it takes. So where do you start? How do you battle this illusion of choice that Saban mentioned in his quote? I'm going to give you 3 tactics that you can start employing right now and start to eliminate this illusion of choice in your life. So, tactic 1, focus on operating based on facts, not feelings. We often don't feel like doing the things that will make us great, right? We're tired. We don't always want to go to the gym. We don't feel like working out. We don't want to get home and work an extra couple hours to get things done. We don't always feel like staying at home and cooking a healthy meal for ourselves when we could just DoorDash Panda Express, right? Elite performers overcome these feelings and they act based on facts. And the facts say it takes what it takes. Sometimes you got to do hard things. So, operate based on facts, not feelings. Tactic number 2, identify who you want to become and who you don't want to become. So make a list of actions you need to take in order to become who you want to be, and then make a list of actions you need to avoid to ensure you don't become the person you don't want to be. Essentially, your do's and don'ts. This does a nice job of giving you a little roadmap of like, all right, here's what I want to become. Here's the path I want to take. It's full of these actions. Here's the path I want to avoid. Don't do these things. Makes things a little more black and white. Tactic number 3, find a role model and work to emulate some of their thinking and behaviors. As humans, we are very social creatures, and modeling others can be a really powerful tool for us. Find 1 or 2 people who have achieved things similar to what you want to, break down what they've done, and model their process. An important piece of that is modeling their process. Don't just look at their results and say, I want that, I'm going to get those. Model their process. And I'm actually going to give a bonus tactic to you here because it fits in well. The bonus tactic is really just a quote, and this is a quote that I used to hate. I thought it was stupid, but a classic quote says, nothing changes if nothing changes. Like I said, I used to hate that because I thought it was a stupid, simple quote, but I found that, much like everybody else in my life, I wanted to make changes. I wanted my life to change for the better, but as much as I wanted that change, I wasn't willing to make the mental and behavioral changes I needed to create the actual change in my life. So if you want to make the change, Start here. Make some change, all right? It takes what it takes. That's all we've got for today. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review. You can find me on Twitter at RaidoPsych, RAIDOPSYCH, and I'll see you back here next time on 5 Minute Mindset.